Hello everyone and welcome to our live coverage of Starlink Group 6-74 mission launching from Space Coast, that is Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. We hope you all are doing fine and excited about the upcoming SpaceX launch. Also keep the excitement building up about the upcoming Kuiper 1 mission. It's just now a couple of days away. We got the date, it's on April 28th, so keep an eye on our channel page for the new stream to be posted. Well, if this is your first time here, hi, my name is Dipta Maitra. I'll be your friend firstly and the host providing commentary for today's mission launch, and you are watching AstroYonder live.
Roger, 0G, and I feel fine. Capsule is turning around.
Houston, we see a nominal MECO. Welcome to space.
We are super excited bringing you the coverage of SpaceX's 475th overall launch and the 47th Falcon 9 launch of this year. Currently, we are waiting for a Falcon 9 liftoff at 9:52 p.m. Eastern Time from Florida for a southeasterly launch for SpaceX Starlink mission. The Starlink mission 6-74 will launch 28 version 2 mini optimized Starlink satellites to low Earth orbit. So keep in mind these are optimized ones of the version 2 mini satellites for Starlink. Now, before we dive in, on behalf of AstroYonder team and our awesome moderators, I want to thank all of you joining us for today's launch. We are grateful to have you all here. A big thanks to our amazing YouTube community for being here today, supporting us as we provide detailed coverage of space launches, complete with extensive stats and thorough insights. Really appreciate and a heartfelt gratitude for you being here. Also, we would love if you guys show up into the chat and let us know from where you are tuning in. Feel free to drop any questions, suggestions, or share your thoughts as we move ahead with the stream. We would love to hear from you and get to know more about you. Now, just a heads up, it's me only managing the launch coverages on my own, so if by chance we face any technical issues or hiccups, kindly bear with me and hang tight. Nothing to worry, I will do my best to guide you through the upcoming Falcon 9 rocket launch happening in approximately 36 minutes from now. Now, before getting into the mission details, would like to welcome Pop Tripika, one of our moderators here, joining us for today's stream. Hi, Pop Tripika. I hope you are well and everything is doing fine at your home. Also would like to welcome Simon after a long time joining us. Simon used to be my bestie, but now I don't know what happened to Simon. He needs to greet him on here. So let me just do it for him. And yes, Simon, it's next week we will be having the European Space Agency's Vega C launch. I hope I will be able to cover that and I will try my best to do so. Now let's get into the mission details. According to the 45th Weather Squadron officials, there's a 95% and above chances of favorable weather conditions at the time of launch, with absolute no launch weather constraint violations for today. The forecast calls for a temperature of 24 degrees Celsius, scattered clouds with 40% cloud cover and a wind speed of 12 miles per hour. Fingers crossed, but if for some reason launch doesn't happen today, we do have a backup opportunity tomorrow, that is on Friday, April 25th, with launch window opening at 9:55 p.m. Eastern Time. Now let's take a look at the payload details for today's Starlink Group 6-74 mission. Built in Redmond, Washington, today's payload consists of 28 version 2 mini optimized satellites. Just a reminder, today's payload doesn't consist of any direct-to-cell satellites. This launch marks the 30th dedicated Starlink launch for this year. Each Starlink satellite is equipped with 5 advanced Ku-band phased array antennas, 3 dual-band parabolic antennas utilizing Ka and E band, and a 52.5 square meter dual solar array with a wingspan of 100 feet. 2 solar arrays are also aeroneutral, which enable faster on-orbit maneuvers, and these satellites are equipped with a high-capacity battery to provide power to the payloads. Each Starlink satellite features 3 space laser transponders, also known as optical inter-satellite links, for intercommunication, which operates at up to 200 Gbps. And I hope you guys will be familiar with this inter-satellite links, optical inter-satellite links, because these are now quite prevalent in the satellite development industry. They make use of argon fuel Hall effect thrusters for in-orbit maneuvering, which was previously Krypton based. Today's payload will be deployed in an orbit with an altitude of approximately 271 kilometers and with an inclination of 43 degrees. But the operational orbit will be of an altitude of approximately 559 kilometers with the same inclination, that is 43 degrees. Each version 2 mini optimized satellite weighs approximately 1,268 pounds, which is equivalent to 575 kilograms. And these are approximately 22% less than the original version 2 mini variant. Now, just for the context, each unoptimized, you can say the raw ones, satellite weighs approximately 1,763 pounds, which is equivalent to 800 kilograms. Now, Starlink satellite use custom-built star tracker to find their position, altitude, and orientation for optimal broadband throughput. Just a second, let me make the chat over here to pop out, else I won't be able to see you guys, what you guys are saying. Even I didn't covered any Vega C launch as of now, so that's why Pop Repeat guys said I will try my best because I have to prepare many things for them. As you know, our streams are for nerds mainly, so I will try my best to do that, and let's see. Now, about the Starlink satellites. Now, each one has 4 reaction wheels as well for precise attitude control, plus a hot spare setup for their reliability, and their aluminum flywheel is designed to safely burn at the end of their useful life. Additionally, they have an onboard autonomous collision avoidance system that uses the US Department of Defense debris tracking database for avoiding collisions with space junks, other spacecrafts, and with other Starlink satellites as well autonomously. Now let's talk about, as today's payload is consisting optimized version 2 mini variants. So let's talk about a little of the optimization of Starlink satellites. Equipped with a SpaceX designed dual band chip called Doppio, each satellite features enhanced backhaul antennas, and by using the Doppio chip, which utilizes Ka band and Ku band frequencies, the backhaul antennas can handle higher data rates and lower latency. This chip is integrated into the satellite's avionics system, ensuring seamless operation and communication with other satellite components. These enhanced avionics are for better control and communication. Also, this optimized um, version 2 mini variant of Starlink satellites are equipped with improved propulsion system for efficient deployment and maneuvering in orbit, and enhanced power system to support the increased payload capacity. These optimizations, which I mentioned just now, allows Falcon 9 to carry up to 29 satellites per mission, which is 6 more than the original version 2 mini design. Now, just some quick fun facts. The Starlink 6-39 mission launched on February 25 back in 2024 aboard a Falcon 9 from here at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station was the first to include the 24 Starlink version 2 mini satellites, the then highest count for version 2 mini. Now, on this year, January 21st, 2025, SpaceX launched 27 optimized version 2 mini satellites for the first time. Then on March 31st, 2025, they launched 28 numbers of optimized version 2 minis for the first time. Including today's launch, this is now the third time they are launching 28 Starlink satellites, currently the highest count for the version 2 mini variant. In comparison, the highest for version 1 was 60 satellites, and for version 1.5, it's 56. These I wanted to share. These are quite little interesting facts to be known. Now, once again, just a reminder, SpaceX is currently targeting a liftoff time of Falcon 9 from Cape Canaveral Space Station in Florida at 9:52 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, April 24th. Now, let's take a look at the flight record for the booster supporting today's mission. It's quite a mature booster, you can say, with tail number 1069 will be supporting today's mission. The booster's turnaround time as of today is 43 days. Today's supporting booster with tail number 1069 has 22 previous flights in its record, including missions like CRS-24, that is the Commercial Resupply Services mission to the International Space Station, similar to like that one which we had recently, CRS-32. Next up is the Eutelsat Hotbird 13F mission for a French satellite operator. OneWeb 1 mission for Eutelsat OneWeb, which is a subsidiary of Eutelsat Group, which provides broadband satellite internet services in low Earth orbit. The next non-Starlink mission supported by the booster was SES-18 and SES-19 for SES, which is a major telecommunication operator based in Luxembourg. Additionally, the booster supported 18 Starlink missions, now awaiting for its 23rd flight just minutes away. The last mission supported by today's booster was the Starlink Group 12-21 mission from Slick 40 here at Cape on 12th of March this year. Today's launch is the third flight of the booster for this year. Now, let's have a look at the bar graph showing the number of Falcon 9 launches each year. Before this upcoming launch, SpaceX completed its 46th Falcon 9 launch for this year with the Bandwagon 3 mission launch from the same pad as of today here at Cape Canaveral on April 21st, obscuring the number of annual launches made till the year 2021. Now, SpaceX is having 15 more than the launches made in 2021. Now, with today's launch of Starlink 6-74 mission, the bar graph shows 47 Falcon 9 launches for 2025. SpaceX is now less than halfway to the number of launches made in year 2022 and now will be having 14 less number of launches from that with today's mission. Previously, we know SpaceX completed 132 launches of Falcon 9 launch last year, marking a year with the highest annual launches to date for SpaceX. Now, again, this year they are aiming for another record breaking year with around 180 Falcon 9 launches itself, surpassing last year's highest annual launch count. And this is a reference which we got from a of Elon previously. Now, if this stream fuels your love for space, kindly give us a like. It's like fine-tuning the trajectory of our mission to build a community with amazing space enthusiasts like you. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification so that you won't miss a single launch update. We believe here at AstroYonder that together we will build the ultimate constellation of space enthusiasts like you, just like those NRO constellation. They are growing. We are expecting that we will be growing as well. Now, please allow us a couple of seconds to check whether the launch is on time or not and to stay updated. Well, yes, it's on time. No issues. SpaceX is currently targeting a liftoff time of Falcon 9 from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida at 9:52 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, April 24th. Now let's go ahead and have a look at the trajectory for today's mission. Falcon 9 leaving the pad from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station with a batch of 28 Starlink satellites on board for a southeast trajectory heading into low Earth orbit. That is to the sixth shell of second generation Starlink mega constellation indicated by that green line on your screen. The red line indicates where Falcon 9 first stage will land after stage separation, just a little later leaving Florida's Space Coast. Today's mission for the booster recovery is being supported by A Shortfall of Gravitas droneship, one of the two here on the East Coast. This will be the 105th landing on A Shortfall of Gravitas droneship to date. The planned booster recovery is approximately 595 kilometers with estimated fairing recovery approximately 650 kilometers downrange. And the stage 2 debris re-entry will be in the Indian Ocean on second orbit. Currently, there are 3 in SpaceX's droneship fleet for the droneship. One of the three just with the instructions and A Shortfall of Gravitas are stationed here in Florida, while of course I Still Love You is stationed in California. These are some of the stats related to the drone ships as of today. While you guys have a look to them, let me see on the chat section. But as of now, nothing to reply back. I hope Simon is still there with us, or who knows, Simon left us. Simon likes to being in conversation with him on text, not on voice. So I'm sorry, Simon. My hands are busy managing these slides and everything. So pardon me. It's my apologies for that. And I hope you are with us and will be enjoying the stream. And yes, we were expecting the addition of a fourth drone ship likely by this year. That was also promised that earlier this year, but as of now, there is no information about that. So I can't say for sure, but let's keep our hope. Maybe later this year, we will be having a new drone ship of Replica. Actually, I was quite excited about what name they will be giving this time for the new drone ship they are planning to bring down in the drone ship fleet. So don't know. As of now, there is no information. I tried to find so many, like I did my research, but I'm not finding any relevant information that they will be introducing the fourth drone ship this year. Maybe they are suppressing the news as of now, and the media is also not catching the attention of that. Maybe soon, but they are on track. Who knows? So let's see. Now, speaking of fairing recovery, the two halves of the payload fairing will be recovered slightly farther, approximately 55 kilometers downrange from where the first stage lands on A Shortfall of Gravitas drone ship, after they will smoothly splash down with the guidance of parachutes. SpaceX will utilize a recovery vessel to retrieve them from the Atlantic waters. Now, on your screen, you can see how a fairing recovery looks like. The recovery vessel on your screen is Doug, performing the recovery operations, and is also being today's supporting recovery vessel. Is one of the three here at the east coast. Other recovery vessels, Bob and Go Cosmos, here at the east coast, and Go Beyond at the west coast, are currently awaiting their next assignment. Now we have a request again for you folks. Consider giving this stream a like as your way of boosting us past max Q, passing through the maximum dynamic stress of YouTube's algorithm, which helps us to connect more space enthusiasts like you. And as we are burning our midnight propellant to bring you the streams, we expect your kind support for us by tapping the subscribe and the bell note icon, and with that you will never miss an upcoming stream, like a perfectly timed launch window. For that we will be super grateful to you. Now we are currently 10 minutes away from the webcast to begin, so let's hop in to the stats related to today's mission launch. Today's launch marks 475th SpaceX's overall launch and the 30th dedicated Starlink launch of this year. This is going to be the 462nd Falcon 9 launch to date. The 23rd flight of this particular Falcon 9 booster supporting today's mission, with tail number 1069 being in action after 49 days. It's 49 days, as I said. Let me check it. I'm having a little bit of confusion as I didn't slept all night. Yeah, oh, excuse me, it was 43 days. So the booster's turnaround time as of today is 43 days. Now this will be the 405th Falcon booster reflight to date. That is the launch of a booster that has flown at least once before. 246th orbital launch for SpaceX, launching from Space Launch Complex 40, and the 301st overall orbital launch from Sleep 40. And previously we know, with the Bandwagon 3 mission, SpaceX accomplished 300 overall orbital launch from Slick 40 this pad. Now, with the success of this mission, SpaceX will be having a remarkable 8,344 Starlink satellites, including 583 dedicated direct-to-cell satellites launched to date. Now, coming to some reusability statistics, this launch marks 389th Falcon 9 booster reflight to date. This will be the 105th landing on A Shortfall of Gravitas droneship. 23rd landing for this record. It's not a record breaking booster, but it's getting to that point. 23rd landing of this first stage booster with tail number 1069. With the mission's first stage landing, SpaceX will be having their 346th overall droneship landing, marking 416th Falcon 9 landings so far and 435th SpaceX's overall landing to date. Now, speaking of landing, here are some of the stats related to the drone ship prior to today's mission. So please don't get confused with the numbers being displayed on your screen. The stats for the drone ship are prior to today's launch, not including today's one. So also it's mentioned on the bottom right hand corner. So from that you can have a clear context for the drone ship landings prior to today's launch. Let me just check meanwhile as you guys are having a look into the stats while the liftoff is on time. So we are currently 6 minutes away from the webcast to begin. Now let's have a look into some key stats for SpaceX launches in this year, including today's mission. With today's mission, SpaceX will be having its 49th launch of this year, and out of those, 30 are Starlink missions, including today's one. 17 were non-Starlink missions for commercial and government organizations, and 2 Starship launches. 45 of these missions used a reused booster, including today's mission. Now, if we look into the geographical distribution, SpaceX will be having 32 launches from East Coast, 10 of them from Launch Complex 39A, that is from NASA's Kennedy Space Center, and with today's mission, 22 launches from Space Launch Complex 40, that is from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. On the West Coast, having 15 launches, that is from Space Launch Complex 4 East at Vandenberg Space Force Base. As of now, 2 launches from Gulf Coast at Starbase in Texas with Starship's 7th and 8th test flight, and 2 super heavy booster catches for both those test flights. Now Flight 9 is going to be exciting. Booster 14, which is set to fly on Flight 9, will mark a milestone in Starship's reusability, also with a low possibility of ship 35's catch. So, because in the previous 2 test flights they lost the upper stage, that is the Starship ships. So maybe they will be not attempting, or maybe they will be attempting the Starship's upper stage catch, that is the ship's catch, ship 35's catch. So let's keep our hope that maybe we will be having the ship catch as well. If that will be happening, it will be a crazy moment to see both the booster and the ship to be getting caught by the chopstick arms. Now coming back to the stats, For landing, they will be nailing it for the 45th time this year. Most of the landings are on drone ships with 36 landings. As of now, A Shortfall of Gravitas, which will be supporting today's mission, is leading in the drone ship among the drone ship fleet with the number of landings made on it. And for ground landings, they pulled off 9 of them. Now, SpaceX lease for Landing Zone 1 and Landing Zone 2 expires in the upcoming July 2025. So it would be better if SpaceX schedules some more missions with ground landings in meantime. And I said it will be better for us so that we'll be enjoying those spectacular views of Falcon 9's first stage being landed on the landing zones. Now, Landing Zone 1 and 2 are built on Space Launch Complex 13 site back in 2023. And the US Space Force announced that it is reallocating the Space Launch Complex 13 to Phantom Space and Via Space. So in order to retain the return to launch site, that is the RTLS capability, SpaceX is now working on adding a landing pad at Launch Complex 39A and Space Launch Complex 40. Some of the stuff related to that is there on our X handle. So if you guys are interested learning about that, you can check our X handle. Now, prior to today's launch, the success rate for ground landing is 98.89%. For drone ships, it is 96.64%. And the overall landing success rate is 97.09%. Now again, this page of stats are prior to today's launch. What we have is 110 successful launches since last mission failure with Starlink 9-3, 20 successful landings since last landing failure with 12-20 mission, booster with tail number 1067 having the highest number of flights and successful landings, that is 27 times, 323 missions with at least one reuse fairing, and approximately 614 numbers of fairing halves were reused prior to today's launch. Moving to this year's orbital launches, including today's one. With this 84th orbital launch of this year, United States is leading with 54 launches, followed by China with 21 launches, Russia with 5 launches, 1 launch each by India, Japan, and Europe with 2 launches. Now this pie chart showing 2025 orbital launches by rocket variations, including today's launch. Falcon 9 is about to have its 47th launch. Hang on, let me check if the stream is up or not. Yep, I guess it's live. That's cool. So let's head over and give me a second to set things up. SpaceX is playing some pre-stream music right now, so once the mission audio feed kicks in, I will patch it into our stream. Now, meanwhile, let me give you some update. Blue Origin has successfully static fired the second stage, that is a GS2 of its second New Glenn rocket at Launch Complex 36, following its recent vertical integration for pre-launch testing on April 21st. And static fire happened on today. uh, and the launch remains targeted for June with payload details still unknown. And the launch for Amazon's Kuiper 1 mission aboard the Atlas V rocket on its second attempt is now targeting April 28 at 7 p.m. Eastern Daytime at the opening of a 2-hour launch window. Now, adding value to your viewing experience here at AstroYonder is our top priority. If you feel we somewhat achieved that, please consider liking this stream. It really helps YouTube's algorithm bring in more space fans and helps others to find out the stream.
Falcon 9 tanks are pressing for strongback retract.
So there we go. We have this live view of the Falcon 9 currently awaiting for its liftoff for the 47th time this year. Also would like to welcome Fairmaid, one of our moderator here. Welcome Fairmaid, thanks for tuning in. I hope you are doing well. I'm not so much good. And Pop Tripika, why you are stoked? Because of the summer there? If it's so, I guess you should visit here. We are having 50 degrees nearly. Now we heard the call out for the tanks getting pressurized for the strong back retract. We are getting some closer views and you can see those clamp arms getting to open up just underneath the payload fairing.
Strawback is retracting.
Now we got the call out. The strong back retract process is now underway. Upon opening the clamp arms underneath the payload fairing, the transporter erector will be reclining about 1.5 degrees from the vehicle. Now, while we are watching this live view of Falcon 9, a couple of important steps were completed. The spacecraft team switched to the internal power a few minutes ago, and fueling of the Falcon 9 first stage is finished, meaning all the RP-1 prop is now on board. We are still loading the liquid oxygen on both the first and second stages, and we are expecting the callouts for their completion in just a few minutes.
Stage 1 LOX load is complete.
There we go, we got the callout for stage 1 LOX load completion. We are now waiting for the second stage that will finish up at approximately just inside the T-2 minute mark. Currently the range continues to be green and the weather of course has been excellent cooperating with us. We don't expect any weather conditions to develop in the last couple of minutes. Again, if for some reason we do not launch today, we do have a backup opportunity tomorrow on Friday, April 25th, with launch window opening at 9:55 p.m. Eastern Time. Now we are
Stage 2 LOX load is complete.
and that I was going to say that we got the call out. Stage 2 LOX load is complete. Now all the propellants are now on board the Falcon 9 with 1 million pounds of propellant. We are beginning to vent down the pressure that was in the tubing on the strong back. That's why we can see those white clouds coming out. Next expecting call out for the ground gas closeout.
Gas launch closeout.
There we go. Call out for ground gas closeout. That's where we bleed the extra pressure off, and that cold gas, when it reacts with the moist humid air, gives us this nice white clouds, which is an healthy indicator of launch coming up. Next event at T-1 minute, we should hear the call out that the Falcon 9 flight computers are in startup and controlling the rocket for the remainder of the countdown.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
Right on time, Falcon 9 flight computers on stage 1 and stage 2 are running the rocket through the last minute of count. Now let's listen to the go call out from the SpaceX launch director.
Launch director, go for launch.
SpaceX launch director feels a little bit sleepy, but still giving the go for the launch. We are coming up on T minus 30 seconds. All system continues to remain go for the launch of Falcon 9 and Starlink. Now let's sit back and enjoy the liftoff.
T minus 15. T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff. Go SpaceX, go Starlink.
And there we go, we have a successful liftoff. Falcon 9 has cleared the tower and we did got amazing views. It felt like a fireball moving up. Really, today it looked so magnificent. Now, the Falcon 9 is on its way into the low Earth orbit with 28 Starlink satellites. We did got some good call out. The stage 1
Power and telemetry are nominal.
stage 1 propulsion, power and telemetry all are nominal. We are now throttling down the 9 Merlin engines as we are into a throttle bucket, you can say, preparing for the period of maximum dynamic stress coming up. And we got the call out for the vehicle being supersonic, which means we have exceeded Mach 1 on the Falcon 9.
Max Q.
And there we go. We are to the period of maximum stress on the vehicle. We have throttled the Merlin engines back up to full power right now. Next, expecting the call out for MVAC engine chill. Right on time, we have started to chill down the MVAC engine on the second stage prior to its ignition just after stage separation. Coming up, 3 events back to back in rapid succession. The shutdown of main engine on first stage, that is main engine cutoff, also known as MECO, followed by stage separation and ignition of second stage MVAC engine for the first time in today's flight, that is SES-1, which will boost the payload into low Earth orbit. So let's sit back and hear those upcoming callouts while watching this amazing view from the Falcon 9's first stage. Indeed, Fairmate, today it looked so good while liftoff.
Main engine cutoff.
Stage separation confirmed.
And back ignition.
We got all the callouts for all the back-to-back milestones. Now the nitrogen thrusters are reorienting the first stage, and the flight computers commanded the 4 hypersonic titanium grid fins for deployment. After a successful stage separation, we did got the fairing separation confirmation. Right now we are looking a view of both the stages, while the first stage, which is now continuing under the force of gravity and steering with the help of the growth of those hypersonic titanium grid fins to get back to the landing site, that is on a drone ship, A Shortfall of Gravitas. It will continue to rise towards the apogee before descending back towards the landing on the drone ship stationed in the Atlantic Ocean, A Shortfall of Gravitas. Second stage, meanwhile, with its full capacity in the middle of its 6-minute burn, is on its way into the parking orbit with 28 Starlink satellites payload on board. Today, as because it's a nighttime launch, we are not getting those amazing views in background of both the first and second stages, but fine. At least the second stage's glowing nozzle is not bad to look at. Fairmate, you didn't mention today what is the apogee. You forgot, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. No need to do so if you don't feel to. Just I said you are doing so from couple of the streams back, so that's why. Now, currently we are preparing for the first stage to make its return to the droneship landing site. Until now, the launch has been excellent and smooth. The second stage is currently operating at maximum capacity, and we are getting some cool views of its nozzle and back engine's nozzle. Now the first stage has completed its task and now heading back for its landing. Today we are not even getting views of those nitrogen gas bursts from the first stage. I guess it's such dark as it's a night time. Now during this part of the flight, stage 1 relies solely on its grid fins for steering as it returns to Earth. These grid fins orient the Falcon 9 during re-entry and guide the rocket during its descent. As I mentioned, we are not able to see today for those nitrogen gas bursts from the first stage, but just for the context, those nitrogen gas bursts from the first stage, which you have been familiar if you have seen a previous stream, Falcon 9 launch, are for attitude control, and by attitude I mean orientation control. These are basically used to position the vehicle as it heads back towards the drone ship. Now we are expecting stage 1 entry burn startup.
Stage 1 FTS is saved.
And there's a confirmation we have just lit 3 of Merlin 1D engines on the first stage. Now we are rapidly slowing down the vehicle, as you can see on the bottom left hand side of your screen from the telemetry as it enters Earth's atmosphere, and this burn should last just around 24 seconds.
Stage 2 FTS is saved.
And there we go. There's a confirmation of shutdown of the entry burn on first stage. We did got the call out for stage 1 FTS being saved, which means the re-entry burn for stage 1 has been accomplished. Also, we got the call out for stage 2 FTS being saved, which means the orbital insertion burn is complete for the second stage. Now we are expecting a call out for stage 1 being transonic. Now we can see a little bit of those nitrogen gas bursts from stage 1 on the left hand side of your screen.
Stage 1 transonic.
We just heard the call out. Stage 1 is now traveling slower than the speed of sound as it heads towards landings. Speaking of landing, we are less than 60 seconds away from that. Next, expecting the call out for the stage 1 landing burn.
Stage 1 landing burn.
There we go, great views of that landing burn with center E9 engine now lit. With that, we are slowing down the vehicle furthermore very rapidly. Should be seeing those landing legs deploy any seconds now.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
Landing legs deployed, and
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
and the confirmation for stage 1 landing. So that's a successful 416th landing of an orbital class Falcon 9 rocket. Coming up next, we will have the second stage engine cutoff, that is SECO 1, completing its 6 minute of burn. We did got the call out, and following this event, now the second stage will enter into about 45 minutes of coast phase as the vehicle ascends to its target. We also got the call out for nominal orbit insertion. So these were the call outs we were waiting for. Second stage engine cutoff, SECO 1. as well as a confirmation of a good nominal orbit. Today's launch marks SpaceX's 475th successful mission, with the landing marking their 435th success. Although today the view from the A Shortfall of Gravitas, the favorite of our moderator here, Pop Tripika, it did the view on the screen. It seemed like they already had a landing before because there were splashes of the water on the screen of the view from the drone ship. I hope this will be getting true in near future, that back to back we will be having launches like in couple of hours for Falcon 9. So with that, we will wrap up our coverage for now. Be sure to check out our social media handle on X for the latest happening in space industry and updates on upcoming launches. Guess the link is provided on the chat section. Finally, and most importantly, we want to thank you for tuning in to our live coverage wherever you are watching from. It's true that we really can't do this broadcast without your support, and we are grateful for your continued encouragement for everything what we do here at AstroYonder. We hope you enjoyed the stream. Appreciate everyone for being with us for today's launch. Wishing you a nice week ahead. Once again, thanks for watching. This is AstroYonder Live and me Dipta signing off for now, and we will see you next time.